Diesel plug-in hybrids have been a rarity until now, with most manufacturers choosing petrol power instead. Mercedes has chosen to buck that trend with this, the new E300 DE. The first thing to know about the Mercedes E-Class is that you can have it as a petrol or a diesel plug-in hybrid, so you can really actually take your pick as to which powertrain you prefer. But this diesel model sets out to solve one of the biggest gripes with most plug-in hybrids, and that is that they can be fairly uneconomical once they're out of battery charge and you're running on the petrol engine alone. So what we need to know is, how far does this thing go on electric only? And how economical is it when that diesel engine is running? Can it stack up against its chief rival, the BMW 530e? And not only that, but is it quiet enough, given that diesel engine, to live up to the expectations that you have of a nearly £50,000 plug-in hybrid executive car? Plugging the E-Class in is actually really easy. The socket is right here at the back behind the rear light cluster. You don't even need to faff about with a key or anything to unlock it. You just push it and open the flap. And you get two standard cables, the 3-pin that plugs into your standard socket at home, and a Type 2, which gives you access to the vast majority of dedicated car chargers. It's worth noting as well that actually these are 8-metre cables, which is great, because it means that it gives you easy access to most plugs. Now, unfortunately, there is no dedicated cable storage in the boot, which is a real shame, but there is kind of a shelf at the back of the boot, so you can put your bags up there, and it keeps them quite neat and out of the way. The Mercedes charges at a maximum speed of 7.2 kilowatts, so while you can charge up at any charger that takes a Type 2 plug, which includes most public rapid chargers, 2 hours is the fastest charge you will ever get. Before we even start talking about how this car drives or even its efficiency, a quick word about tailpipe emissions, because diesel has got a very poor reputation for emitting high levels of NOx and other particulates, which are very poor for our health and for air quality in our cities. That's why diesel is taxed more heavily than petrol to get into London these days, and undoubtedly it will go that way for other cities as well soon. Now that clearly is very much against the whole ethos of a plug-in hybrid car. So Mercedes doing a diesel version like this is a bit controversial. However, it is worth pointing out at this point that this powertrain has been tested by an independent company for particulate emissions in real-world driving conditions, and it's been rated just as highly as the petrol equivalent, which is also rated very highly. I'm not trying to downplay the fact that diesel is worse for NOx and particulates, because it is. On average, diesel is worse than petrol, but it's not really that black and white, because a lot of very modern diesels actually are quite good, if not on a par with the best petrols as well. So we should give them a chance, and in that respect, this particular powertrain has certainly proven to be very good. And it's also proving to be very good in terms of its economy. Now, I've done a lot of mileage in this car over the weekend, done a lot of motorway miles, a lot of stuff around town, even a bit more enthusiastic stuff down some B roads, and I'm still getting 50 mpg pretty easily. Now that's really impressive, because, you know, an equivalent petrol, you know, the 530e or even the E300e, the petrol equivalent of this car, you're probably going to be getting more like 40 mpg, and that's no small difference really, is it? Especially given that something like an XC60 is going to be doing 35 on a good day. Clearly, this car has got a huge advantage in terms of its economy. Now, in terms of the electric running, you have of course got all of the various hybrid modes that you would want. So you've got e-save if you want to hold the charge where it is, maybe you want to save it for later in the journey. You've got e-charge, so you can actually use this 2-litre diesel engine to charge up the batteries and get you more electric running. You've got hybrid mode, which just shuffles between all the various electric motor and the diesel as it sees fit and gets you the best efficiency. I think that's actually kind of the happiest medium really. Or there is e-mode, which forces it into electric mode, and then you can just drive around on electric power, do motorway speeds, of course, all that kind of stuff. Now, Mercedes claims 34 miles as the WLTP range for this car. I'm finding more like about 20 to 25 actually, which is a little bit disappointing. I think around town you'd probably see 25, but I have to say in the more varied driving I've been doing, you're seeing more like 20 miles or even a little bit less. So it's a bit of a shame that's not slightly better. You can add air suspension to this car, but I don't think it's really necessary actually. This car's on standard suspension and I think it rides pretty well. It's comfortable, it's really nice to drive whether you're, you know, around town or going down a B road, that's all well and good. What is less impressive is the refinement. And this is the other controversial thing about a diesel plug-in hybrid, of course, is that diesel engines are noisier than petrols. And in a plug-in hybrid installation like this, you really do notice it. On top of that, I would say I would quite like better brake and throttle response in this car. Sometimes you get a bit of a hesitancy as it switches from electric to diesel mode with the throttle. It's not always that easy to judge. Again, particularly actually from slow speed, so around town and that kind of thing, it can be slightly inconsistent. So in some respects it could be better, but I think generally as long as you charge it up regularly, this is going to be an absolutely brilliant car to drive around town and then up the motorway. The E-Class's interior is one of its real strong points. All the materials feel lovely, it looks great, everything feels solidly put together, the seats are comfortable, visibility is very decent, but most of all, it's all about this infotainment system, because you get this really lovely single piece screen going across the dials and the standard 12-inch nav screen, and that is all really lovely. The graphics are great, it just looks so high-tech, it's really, really good. It's a bit of a shame that it's not easier to use. It's not a touchscreen actually, you get this rotary dial down here, and you get a touchpad, and you get shortcut buttons, and you can control an awful lot of it via these touch-sensitive buttons on the steering wheel. So it's not short of ways of controlling the system, you just have to get used really to the menu layouts and how you access some of the sub-menus. But once you've done that, it's not too bad, and certainly it's got all the functionality you would want as standard. It's also got loads of other stuff as standard that you would want, including LED lights, auto wipers, heated seats, aircon, all of that stuff. So it has got the essentials, but Mercedes is a master of the optional equipment pack. You want traffic sign recognition? You have to add a premium pack at £2,400. You want to add Apple CarPlay or Android Auto? You need that same £2,400 pack. You want adaptive cruise control? That'll be £1,700. You want keyless entry? That'll require £4,400. Essentially, while pricey additional extras are par for the course in this class, it does feel like you're being particularly taken advantage of with the Mercedes if all you want is keyless entry, but you have to pay for a Burmester sound system to get it. Still, practicality and comfort is very good in the E-Class, and even the tallest of passengers will be comfortable in the back seats. The boot, however, is quite compromised by those batteries, which leave a huge step up in the available luggage space. If practicality is a priority for you, then Mercedes does offer the E300DE as an impressively spacious estate. To get straight to the point, the E300DE really could be a bit better to drive. We'd definitely like it to be quieter, and that brake and throttle response could be a bit better resolved. So, if you want the finest driving executive plug-in hybrid, look to the BMW 530e. But if you want the most efficient plug-in hybrid, then this is it. And who doesn't want fuel-free commuting around the city, really clean tailpipe emissions that's up there with the best petrols in this class too, and diesel economy on the motorway? It's got everything going for it. So there you have it. It's not flawless, but if you want the most efficient plug-in hybrid, and that's really what most hybrid buyers want, then you're looking at it. For loads more reviews, news, advice and features, head to DrivingElectric.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.